Today's video is network. We are all born into a nested field of networks, beginning with your family. Each one of the members of your family has very specific programs, and all of those are energetically networked together. So what one person feels and experiences, perceives, affects the other people that are networked or tied into that individual. So we tend to sync in particular ways, like, for example, a shared virus. We have negative and positive things within every network. So in a family network, there are positive things and there are negative viruses. For example, you have to work your butt off to make a living. That's a negative virus that can affect every person in that family, whether they've moved on and had their own life or stayed within the family. Those viruses follow you. For example, something like diabetes within a family network may be just related to one individual being very unhappy, unable to enjoy the sweetness in life, which is what diabetes represents. And that inability to enjoy the sweetness in life is passed to the other members of the family, whether just being in that environment attunes that person or that particular belief system is taken in a very deep way. So the network also is an attunement. You attune to each member of the family in different ways. Everyone is connected, not exactly the same, but everyone is networked together, tied together energetically. So what one person experiences or knows affects everything else. So the positive side to that is if someone had gotten like a download, an aha, the other people in that network, whether it's a family or a group or a nation in general, get that access to that information via the network. So the cool thing about doing group work and being with people that are focused on the same thing is you want to hang out with people like that, by the way. Birds of a feather flock together. So when you're hanging with the group and doing work, when one person gets that aha, you energetically get part of it. Maybe not the complete aha, even without them talking to you, because you're chained together through that network. So we are all tied up in networks, and I don't know if we could ever get completely free of any particular network, because we're all chained together in some way, whether because the world itself, the planet Earth, is a huge network. So I don't know that we can get completely clear of all the networks, but you can definitely choose, once you become aware, what networks you want to be tied into and what networks you don't want to be tied into. And that's where discernment and making decisions, healthy decisions for yourself, plays a vital part. You have to make healthy decisions for yourself, tying yourself into networks that are focused in the same direction you're going and are positive. Don't buy into negative networks out there. Whatever, if somebody's selling something negative, don't buy it. Make your own decisions and buy into the networks or feed into the networks, because it's a two-way street. When you tap into a network, you get fed, and you're also feeding the network. Another positive side to being tied into a network is when someone's working on an issue in an energetic way, you're being pulled along within that. Of course, people's awareness affects to what degree that download happens in each individual, but the file is then accessible by the network. So the person doesn't have to even talk about what they're going through, but then there is this connection to other people within that network, other members of that network, whether a family, a group, a nation, the world at large. I see this all the time in group work. I'll be preparing something like a video, something like this, or talking on a particular subject, and 9 times out of 10, there's at least 3, 4, 5 people that have had very similar train of thoughts during that week prior to the group, which means we're all accessing that information at the same time. So when one person plugs into it, it plugs all the other people into it. That's a positive thing. The negative thing is if a person is tied into a negative thing, that negative thing can then affect you also. But then again, that's where you have the ability within your own self to access certain files that are available in a network, files being beliefs, perceptions, and judgments, and which ones did you say no to. So ultimately, it is about you being your own individual within a networked system. And everything is networked. I don't know that you can get out of it completely, but you can choose what files you access and which files you don't on a daily basis. I guess that about covers it. So there's negative and positives to being a part of a network, and we are all tied into networks. So the more you become aware that you are tied into it, and you're aware of what's being fed through the network, whether it's something positive or negative, you can be more free to choose whether you take that into your own system or that you close the door to it. You know, keep it in a private file. Don't access it. Anyway, take it or leave it. Love y'all. Peace. You are all powerful beings capable of many great things. All you have to do is follow your heart. Namaste.